Ladies and gentlemen, it is with my great, what is the word, happiness? What's a good word for that?
Pleasure?
Pleasure? Gratitude?
Okay.
We have ourselves a new podcast because you know what the world needs, guys?
Another
More fucking podcast.
Another podcast. Not just any podcast, but a movie review podcast. Because there's not enough of those.
No.
But I do believe that we have a good angle. We have decided our podcast, first it'll be called Give Peace a Chance.
Give peace a chance.
And Ted, why are we calling it?
As in peace, like a Kubrick piece.
Okay.
Yeah, a piece of film.
Have you ever watched a Kubrick film?
Can you spell Kubrick?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. No.
You can't spell it?
Can you spell Rorschach?
It's called IT. I just spelled it. Kubrick's Kubrick. Okay, anyways. So, Give Peace a Chance. It is the movie review show where we're actually taking a different kind of an angle. We're actually going to try to bring up films that you may have missed. So not necessarily the new films that everyone's seen. We're not going to be reviewing, the new Star Wars film, even though we'll go see those films. We want to bring up films you might have missed. So each of us has a film that we've challenged one another with. These are a little bit older films that we feel like each other have missed. And so we've asked each other to watch these films, and we will basically let them review the films that we love, that we want each other to watch, and then the other two get to make fun of you and tell you why you're stupid. We're also going to review, at the end of the show, a newer film that you may have missed. So in case you don't understand the idea and the concept, is we're going to review movies that you might have missed. So hopefully you could go back. I mean, Ted found one from not older than you, Ted, but it's old. And I'm an old man. You are. But you never know. Like, we all have three different kinds of movie types. We have through all three of us have different, movies that we like to watch. And so this is a lot of fun because the movies that you're like, I love this movie, you got to watch this movie. And you get to watch your two buddies tell you you're an idiot. And, or they might like them. I don't know. So just so you get an idea who we are, my name is Jim Stevens. I'm a local filmmaker / actor who has a full-time job because, acting and making movies doesn't pay the bills. However, moving freight does. And
Nice.
So I'm Jim Stevens. I am with two of my really good friends. We have...
I am BJ Harmon. I am a local cyclist. Bicycle enthusiast. When I used to be a bike racer, bike mechanic, that's all I did. But like Jim, I also realized I needed a job that paid bills and provided insurance for my broken body. So
He also likes to start every morning with some good show tunes.
I do.
Nice-
I start
nice,
every day at
interesting
work
facts
with like a Disney playlist or
Yes, he does.
a
And I'm not joking, he really does.
a musical playlist from I really like musical
So
theater.
we're gonna
I'm a
eventually
big fan.
we're gonna get some musicals and some cartoons up in here.
Yeah, you're gonna love
I
it.
can't wait. Yeah.
And we're also the man
Ted,
on the board.
Ted Hansen. I like
Ted
rock and
Hansen.
roll and movies.
And boobs.
And I don't know shit about sports. That's about it.
Basically, at this point, I will introduce my film. I asked both of the boys to watch a film called Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Sunshine is a 2007 British-American science fiction film directed by Danny Boyle. Do we both know who Danny Boyle is?
Yes.
He's the guy that did 28 Days Later.
28 Days Later. He also did
really all I
127 Hours. He did Slumdog Millionaire. He's done many, 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 many films. It was also written by anyone? Alex Garland.
Alex Garland.
Alex Garland wrote 28 Days Later. He wrote The New Dread, which was very underrated. We might even want to bring up and review on this show because The New Dread was awesome.
That was awesome.
I love that Carl Urban.
He's a handsome fellow.
Man.
He also just directed Ex Machina or Ex Machina or Patapachika. however
the
you
writer
Good movie.
Now
is
he-
also a director.
Now he's directed.
What's
two
his name
films.
again?
His name is Alex Garland. He directed
Alex
Ex
Garland.
Machina, and his newest film with Natalie Portman is called Annihilation, which was also fantastic. So, anyways, Sunshine, starring Cillian Murphy, who was Scarecrow,
Who I have a man crush on.
Michelle Yeoh,
Those baby blues.
Chris Evans, and Benedict Wong. So, boys, go ahead.
Yes.
And the two of you, please discuss Sunshine.
Go ahead, man.
All
Sunshine.
right. Sci-fi movie. First 2 acts, I'm very fond of. Third act, I'm not.
Well.
Loses me. Solaris. George Clooney's Solaris and Event Horizon. They're both based on the same. They both are inspired by the same Russian film from the 70s, Solaris. So I look at like the first 2 acts as kind of a Solaris thing, which I like, and then the third act kind of an Event Horizon thing, which I don't like. It kind of devolves into a monster movie, supernatural, confusing mess, I think.
Yeah, this movie was... I feel like I've seen this movie a whole bunch of times, and every time I feel like there's a ship in space, they have to find a derelict ship in space. Seems like every movie I watch, they're finding out there's another ship that they have to meet because there's something they have to have on that ship, and then that something turns into something bad. So, and I just think they
true
skipped
that.
all of that.
Alien, yeah.
Well, it was the captain of that ship was... He stowed away onto the Icarus 1. Icarus 2.
1, yeah.
Captain from Icarus 1.
He gets onto Icarus 2.
Pinpacker gets onto Icarus 2 and sabotages the airlock or whatever. I think they could have... Yeah, that's your supernatural guy. Where did he get his strength from? He's all burnt up to a crisp, and all of a sudden he's all strong.
Yeah. And it's a quasi-hard sci-fi up until that point, and then hard sci-fi where the technology is plausible.
They really tried real hard for that, and they studied. Like when you read into the movie, they studied they all took space training and scuba training and 0G, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
But then why is there whooshing when the camera's going by the ship in space? Why would there be whooshing? There's no sound there.
No. All an astronaut would hear working outside the craft is his own
Inside
heartbeat.
of his head.
His own.
Piece. Yeah.
He's in his own atmosphere in the spacesuit. You wouldn't hear the whooshing. That's funny that you would bring that up because that's right in my notes. Also, if you leave the ship and you're weightless, you've got to be weightless in the ship. I know. In sci-fi, you have to suspend disbelief, but
and the spacesuits they wore, they were so shielded. They would have to be so shielded that I don't think Cillian Murphy could move in one of those with gravity.
Yeah,
because it's got to be so heavy to shield you from that close to the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's what you guys done. You guys done ripping
my
movie? Tearing apart one of my favorite films.
Hey, no, I do want to say it had really good visual effects. It had good set design. The chemistry was there with the cast and all that stuff. But like I just seen.
I'm not giving it a thumbs down at all.
Are we doing thumbs down?
I give it like
whatever.
Out of stars.
Okay, well here's some interesting facts before I just go in to tell you why you're both stupid. I don't care about whooshing. It's a movie. Okay. I also like Solo more than I like probably 7 of the 8 movies they've released. I think Solo is probably my second favorite behind Empire, but that's fine. IMDb gave this a rating of 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a critic score of 76% and an audience award of 73%, which is, for something that's been out since 2007, is actually really good numbers that they're still holding.
Those are nice.
I'll tell the plot real quick since you guys just kind of talked but didn't really. So in 2057, the sun is dying and the Earth is freezing. A crew of 8 pilot. We'll be here 3 hours. We don't have the time for that. A crew of 8 pilot a Colossus nuclear bomb aboard a spaceship, Icarus 2. Basically what's happening is the sun is dying and they need to inject a nuclear bomb into the sun in order to get it started again so that Earth doesn't die. And this is the second Icarus that they've had to send. But they don't find Icarus 2 till they get to the other side of what's the first planet? Not
Venus?
No, not Venus.
Mercury.
Mercury, yeah. So once they get to Mercury, then they're able to get... Anyways, here's some fun facts about this movie. Did you know that South Park uses that same suit that you talked about that Cillian was in. Kenny wears it. Like
Yeah. Kenny does roll around in that deal, doesn't he?
he wears that specific.
For what purpose?
They just after the movie came, they've used it 3 or 4 different times. That
Because
Kenny's
he looks like
wearing
that
it.
anyway.
Yeah,
You know.
and so it kind of just fits. But yeah, go back to the South Parks and you'll see Kenny wearing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Chris Evans obviously went on to become Captain something. He's in some of those.
Planet.
Nah, I think that's a chick.
Girl, Jim.
Benedict Wong is in Doctor Strange. He's the sidekick to Doctor Strange.
Wong.
And Michelle Yeoh is in the new Star Trek Discovery, which, if you haven't been watching, is a fantastic.
I watched it. Yeah,
It's a fantastic
It's good.
new series.
Yeah.
So, anyways, obviously he made this. His influences were Stanley Kubrick's 2001: Space Odyssey,
which doesn't have whooshing.
there's nothing that happens in that movie. Solaris, and also Ridley Scott's Alien.
Yeah.
That's where he came.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
You do see all that in those movies for sure.
And then finally, the last thing that I'll talk about this film is Danny Boyle had such a shitty time making this movie. He vowed to never, ever make another sci-fi film.
Okay.
I guess it was such a pain in the ass to make. But the reason why I just love this movie is because of the performances. I love the way that they all work together. I like the way that I liked it visually. I actually really liked the end of it. I like that the sun gets you high because, you can't just be smoking crack all the time. There, Ted, sometimes you got to try new things. And basically that's what I got from it is that's what they were doing is like, because remember the new guy who would sit in that, he would keep trying to turn the sun up higher and higher.
Yeah.
And the computer kept saying, you can't. That's too much.
They were seeing God, Jim.
Yeah, they were seeing God. I'm right.
They were seeing God.
When he rips his forearm off, I don't know.
God gave that guy super strength.
Just like that stuff. Anyways, that's the final word. So, and it's okay. Make sure your phones are off, but that's fine. I heard that. I heard it.
Was that me?
Yeah, I heard it. So that's the final word. Sunshine, like it or don't. That's the best thing that everyone needs to understand is everyone likes different things. If we all like the same movies, the world would be boring.
Yes.
And this would also be a boring podcast.
It would be a very boring podcast.
Which I'm trying to make it be as boring as
possible.
Anyway,
So now we're going to move into Ted's film. Ted, go ahead. What was your film?
My film was Ninth Configuration.
Which is? Without giving anything away of your review or anything, what was it?
It is a movie directed by William Peter Blatty, the author of The Exorcist. A lot of people don't know that he's a comedy writer.
He's hilarious.
And this is he considers it part 2 of The Exorcist.
That is true. He sees it as the true sequel to The Exorcist.
True sequel to The Exorcist. Lots of funny lines, in my opinion, but I'll let you guys go.
Hail Caesar! I freaking loved this movie. Thank you so much, Ted. It was a freaking awesome movie set in a abandoned castle in the Pacific Northwest, but it was clearly in Austria.
They had to film. Do you know why they filmed there?
Pepsi.
PepsiCo had extra money that they had to spend in that country or they would lose the money. And so they were like, so that was the way they got their money was
so good.
You had to film it here.
Yeah, and it was just a perfect big castle built on top of a hill.
Did you notice the Pepsi machine in that one?
It's the only product placement. It is the only product placement.
So, end of Vietnam, bunch of soldiers with PTSD or other problems from either in battle or not from battle. The main character, Billy Cutshaw, played by Scott Wilson. Most people know him as Herschel nowadays, I guess, from Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
But he's in a ton of stuff. He is a astronaut that kind of loses it, and he ends up here trying to get help. Like I said, I freaking love this movie. Everything about it from beginning to end. It tries to get a little in your head with some deep God stuff, and they really don't exactly hit that, but they talk about that. They have a big discussion on whether or not it's true, and I absolutely love a good prove it that the existence of God challenge.
And
That's
Stacey,
one of my favorite
Stacey
things in life.
Stacey Keach from the Cheech and Chong fame
Yeah.
was really good.
That's what he's famous for.
Well, if anyone else is like, why do I know that name? Like, Cheech and Chong, man.
This bus is made entirely of reefer.
Did you know that there was an alternative title to Ninth Configuration?
Twinkle, twinkle, Killer Kane.
Twinkle, I can't talk today. Twinkle, Twinkle, Killer Kane.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was directed by William Peter Blatty. It has Stacey Keach, and you got Mr. Walking Dead himself. So some
Okay, so, I know I'm not supposed to talk
Yeah,
right
shut up.
here.
Let me finish.
Scott Wilson was in Cold Blood with Robert Blake.
He was also in The Right
Motherfucker.
Stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this guy.
Quick note about The Right Stuff. That was one of the movies that the director of Sunshine made them watch. Was The Right Stuff. They all watched that to learn things about
His
space.
name is
Sorry to
Danny-
go back to that.
His name is Danny
No.
Boyle.
Yeah,
But you guys didn't like that movie.
We're not
so
talking
it's no
about that. We're not talking about that movie though.
So-
I like Sunshine.
So some interesting
Dreamy blue eyes.
Some interesting facts about Ninth Configuration. IMDb has given it a 7.2 out of 10, which, being as old as it is a great, and I put it right about there, about a 7.2. The critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is 75%, and the audience award 77%. So they're pretty consistent all the way across the board. In the early 70s, Charlton Heston tried to get this movie made, and he wanted to be the lead. He wanted to be Killer Kane.
Oh, Killer Kane.
And
Okay.
he
You could have done that for sure.
tried to
Oh,
get-
yeah, definitely.
Tried to get it made in the early 70s, didn't work out. So my personal views, I really like the Stacey Keach conversations. I thought that I kind of called it early on, the Leonardo film, kind of the same concept. The Scorsese did the Shadow, what the hell was that movie? Can't stand that movie.
Island.
The Island one.
Yeah, Shutter Island.
Shutter
Island,
Island.
yeah.
Which,
I've tried. I just don't like that movie.
I-
And so,
yeah.
and so my problem is I get in trouble a lot of times because I'll call movies like really early. And my problem is I can't keep my mouth shut. And so anyone I'm watching the movie with, they're like, "You're an asshole." I'm like, sorry. So the reason why I didn't love this film is because I kind of called it really early.
Okay.
And so then when it kind of just fell into place, I liked the dialogue. I liked the way it was written. I liked the two of them together in their conversations. The bar scene was really good when he goes and gets his ass kicked. That-
Brutal.
Yeah.
Well, you called the doctor being the brother, and
Oh, yeah?
him being Vincent Kane, the
I knew,
Killer
yeah,
Kane. Really?
I knew it was Killer Kane probably after
I did
about
not.
5-10 minutes of his screen time.
Nice.
Yeah, and so and it kind of ruins my own. I do that all the time. Then I'm like, damn it,
Nothing ruined this movie.
I was right. And so I did like it. But I just wasn't crazy about it. But I did watch it front to back all the way through. So final word is to you, Ted.
Technically, the film's kind of a mess, right? You got shaky camera. You got.
They're on a budget.
I mean, it
It's
looks
really
like it
old
was shot
also.
on 16 millimeter. There's audio issues, with, lip syncing, all that. Colors washed out. I am going to order, as soon as I have the funds, a restored DVD Blu-ray, and I'd like to see that. See how much better it looked. Funny as hell. I think the end of the world just came for that bag of Fritos in my pocket.
He said that. He quoted that earlier today.
Yeah, and then he sits down again. Oh, man.
I like Jason Patrick. What's the guy from Speed 2? Patrick Miller is Jason Patrick's dad.
Let's start.
Patrick Miller
Wait, stop. I'm gonna stop.
Patrick
No,
Miller
no.
is the priest in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna stop you. Did you just reference Speed 2?
Yes, I did. Jason Patrick was in it.
He's in actually some pretty good films, and you picked.
That's a deep
Speed 2.
cut right there.
His
Reference
monologue
Speed 2.
in Your Friends and Neighbors is fucking off the charts.
But,
okay.
but was nothing compared to
But-
that 3 words that he said in Speed 2. Like, oh, it was like, pow, right in your face. Awesome. Speed 2, get the hell out of here.
Okay, where was I? The plot with him, as cool as I think he is, with the dogs and the Shakespeare, kind of tedious. Okay, there's a lot of parallels between this movie and The Exorcist. It's in the same universe. Cutshaw is actually the astronaut in The Exorcist. Reagan comes down during the party, pees on the floor, says, "You're gonna die up there." That is Cutshaw, and we see him again in Ninth Configuration.
And he's gone crazy.
That's what makes him go
He's
crazy.
gone crazy. I used to think, "You're gonna die up there. You're gonna die up there." I thought that meant upstairs, but it meant in outer space. Both films have their martyrs. Karis in The Exorcist, "Take me," and Stacy Keach in Ninth Configuration. Both movies have evil forces acting to restore faith and sanity in the characters. This is like a Luciferian sympathy for the devil. The devil will be reconciled with God type thing. William Peter Blatty was way into this concept that everyone will be redeemed.
Because he's hilarious.
Yeah. Because he's a comedy writer.
Because he's hilarious.
Anyway, I know I'm not making any sense, so I will turn the tables over to you.
It's your final word, bud. Okay, so finally we go to our third film. This is BJ's choice. BJ has decided to pick by far the most film out of the 3. BJ, what'd you pick?
My choice was Gleaming the Cube, starring Tony Hawk and Christian Slater. I don't want to give too much away. I'll let you guys talk about it, because I know you were just really into it, and
I watched it in one viewing. I got it right through. I went right through it. Yeah.
Ted, you probably watched it twice, right?
Can I ask?
You watched it twice.
How old were you when you saw it the first time?
I saw this movie in the movie theaters, man.
Oh my God!
I saw this movie in Provo in the movie theaters.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a big Christian Slater fan as a kid. Not a skateboarder at all, but
so this came out in 1989.
Yeah.
1989.
was 12 or something,
It was
I
also
think.
known as A Brother's Justice, and also known as Skate and Die.
Yeah.
Or Skate or Die.
Skate or
sorry.
Die.
Because Gleaming the Cube, that is an odd title for a
Bro,
movie.
you gleam the cube, man.
I guess there's in the DVD. There's actually like extras that explain what it means.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know what it means, man.
So
I wish I did, though.
Those of you who don't know who Christian Slater is, he went on to do Mr. Robot. Tony Hawk, if you don't know who he is, you're an idiot. And
Christian Slater did a lot more than Mr. Robot.
yeah, I know, but that's what he's doing.
Heathers.
I'm sorry, that's what he's doing now.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
he won an Emmy for it like last year or the year
he
before.
did, huh?
So he's doing well. It's a good show.
Love that guy.
The Tony Hawk's acted in nothing else. I'm shocked. The director is a guy named Graham Clifford. All he's done since is TV movies.
Okay.
Some interesting facts on this one. Whenever apparently you need some deep thoughts and you need to like gather your thoughts, apparently skating alone in an abandoned lot is how one gets their thoughts flowing.
Echoes of Flashdance and
Footloose.
Absolutely, you do the little montage.
yeah.
Some impressive skating, and then they do the little close-ups of Christian, from the head up. Like he's the one doing it.
Yeah, it's
There's no way he did
either
anything else.
waist up or waist down.
Yeah.
It's never a whole
So,
shot. Yeah.
They needed permission by the principal in order to skate at the school, because I guess there's no skating at the school. Basic plot: punk kid rides skateboards with his skateboard buddies, who's an underachiever. He has a stepbrother that was adopted that ends up getting killed, and so he goes to try to solve the mystery. And my personal favorite part of the movie is when he goes through the makeover so he can impress the girl. And his haircut that he cuts it into looks exactly like what he wears.
Yeah, just a little less gel.
A little bit, but it's the same haircut he's had for 30 years. And
when something works, Jim, you just don't change
you
it,
don't
okay?
change it.
No.
It's an IMDb score of 6.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a critics award of a large 29%. However, the audience gave it a 69%. Yo,
That's where it counts. That's where it counts
That's
right
where
there.
it counts.
So, BJ, how old were you?
I was like 12 or 13 when
Yeah.
it came out, man.
Yeah.
To be fair, like, and I'll let you go next, but I actually was telling people the 3 films that we were going to be reviewing today.
Uh-huh.
Nobody knew Ninth Configuration. Nobody knew Sunshine.
Yeah.
I said Gleaming the Cube. Oh, I love that film. Gleaming the Cube.
Okay. After your enthusiasm for Ninth Configuration, I hesitate.
You're not
here.
going to break my heart, Ted.
Okay.
Don't worry, man.
All right. Do you think maybe some of the movie's flaws you might overlook because of nostalgia, just because of
Terrible music.
Oh God.
But let's
Wait,
let's go out front and skate real quick and think about it. Let's get some skating in.
Are you comparing movies to movies that were coming out with that movie at that same time that are like that movie?
Yeah.
Or movies now?
There were a slew of movies like that.
Because all the
back
other
then.
skate movies and bike movies or whatever, they all suck just as bad, but they're all awesome.
Have either of you, and Pete, I'll include you on this, have you guys seen a movie called Prayer of the Roller Boys?
No.
Basically the same film, only came out 10 years later, and they were on rollerblades.
Put that on the list.
My debate partner in high school, it was his favorite film. So I've seen Prayer of the Roller Boys. Man, instead it just kept reminding me of Prayer of the Roller Boys.
Well, you talk about the music. Here's some lyrics from the opening song.
Gleaming the Cube.
Going higher and faster than anyone's ever been before. Just let go. Gleaming the Cube. You're the best. You want it. And nothing can stop you now.
You are so inspired to go find out who killed your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the other part. That, I mean, yeah, it was a cheesy 80, but I watched it. I was entertained by it. It made me laugh at some parts. But when he does his makeover to impress the girl, which is his stepbrother's ex-girlfriend, because her father, it looks like maybe the guy behind all of this stuff. So he doesn't. He doesn't do the makeover to really impress her. He does the makeover so that she can have him around, so he can bust the dad. In the meantime, the girl starts falling in love with him, and she's trying to get her dad busted. And I'm all like, "That's gonna be a weird wedding."
My surface level thinking. Whoa, that was way over my head. That's very insightful.
That's what he did the makeover for, so he could get into the house, because they didn't like white boys. Yeah, the brother-in-law, by the way, was not white. He was
Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Name was Vin.
Vin. I don't want to. I'm dating a half Japanese girl, so it's okay if I get it wrong. But I didn't want you guys to get it wrong.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah,
Good looking out, dude.
I miss you, Vin.
Oh man. Yeah, I really can't say.
When did you start smoking? You're not. Final word in a second. When did you start smoking? Okay. I just started. Yeah, you shouldn't smoke in the house. First of all, Mom's gonna know.
But why are all these skaters?
They all hate him.
They're acting like a.
Yeah, but
they're acting like a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
when he dressed different.
Politically incorrect, but
we got to talk about this, man. That was a direct line when he shows up in the sweater. Yeah, man, we need to talk about this. Because all my skater friends, that's the first thing they do is like, "You wearing a sweater? You wearing a sweater?" I did like how they were putting up Tony Hawk stickers everywhere.
He has a great web series. Yeah. He interviewed Christian Slater on it, and they have a good laugh.
He's got to be 18, 19 in that film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said 3 lines, but yeah. Anyways, and they putting up a sticker. So, anything else before we give BJ the last word?
I would say any good skating footage is ruined by you cut away to the other dudes around the pool, and they're rad, yeah.
Dude, he crashes in the pool. That they take the helicopter up or the plane up to find a pool. One crash, and they call the paramedics. They call the police.
This was a big one for me.
They called everybody. I'm all like, "No, you leave."
Yeah. The cops that show up after this accident.
I was a punk once too.
In the pool. the cops that show up, later we learn they're homicide detectives.
Right. Yeah, that's right. For a pool accident.
For a
break and an
criminal trespass.
Yeah.
Yeah, send out the detectives.
Well, the pool guy, he had the day off, so we're gonna bring in the homicide. It's okay. He was a punk one time. You guys are gonna be best friends by the end.
One of the cops, Stephen Bauer, ring a bell? He is Don Eladio, Breaking Bad.
Oh
Yeah.
I did like Breaking
And
Bad.
I would say that his acting improved between those two.
No, I mean, if I had a reel, I'd only put "Gleaming the Cube" on my reel, and that is all. And I'd be all like, and every time I went into an audition, I'd just point at the screen and go, "Scoreboard, motherfucker, scoreboard." I wouldn't work much, but it'd be fun.
Okay, I was 21 when this came out. I was on sabbatical in the Antarctic for 2 years, so I didn't see it. But if I would have
Yeah,
seen
because
it,
real people do shit like that. God.
I
Who are we doing a podcast with, man?
I was on a sabbatical in Antarctica.
let's just say I dropped out for 2 years.
I was flogging whales for peace.
But if I had seen it, I mean, there's like a DRI poster on the wall.
Awesome.
That was my first hardcore show,
The
1985.
bunker that the kid lived in was cool.
And I like that actor. I wanted to bring him up. Great character actor. What is his name?
He lived in the bunker.
Max Perlich?
I don't. Yeah,
Perlich?
he kind of did a bunch of movies in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
And then he
really like him.
kind of went away.
Beautiful Girls. You seen that?
Yes.
It's great. Okay, where was I?
Wrap it up. We got to do final
Where
words.
was I? Oh yeah, DRI. I probably, if I'd seen it at the time it was released, I would have probably screamed, "Oh, sell out, Hollywood, sell out." Anyway,
All right, final words to you, Beach.
There we go. Cut you right off, didn't he? He cut you right off. Anyway,
We don't
Screwed
need a
up.
3-hour podcast.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear a 3-hour podcast. Yeah, Gleaming the Cube is obviously very nostalgic for me. One of my favorite movies from back in the day when I was a kid. Like you said, I was 12 or 13, something when it came out. I ate this shit up. I still do. But for me, I think when I was a kid, I also recognized that it was cheesy. And that it was really meant to be an after-school special. Obviously, all he did was made for TV movies afterwards, which probably included some back-to-school specials.
The director.
With the way that they talk to each other, and they're always trying to help each other out. Immediately, this guy's so punk rock, and you see him on his bed with his headphones and the posters, and you think, why would he care? No regular 16-year-old kid would care about his adopted 16-year-old Vietnamese brother, especially in the 80s. I feel like a skateboarder, so I recognize that things are bad, but there's so much good to this movie. All of the clothes they wear, from the way that they're around the pool saying, "Yeah, rad, go." every 80s movie
their
that I
socks,
watched,
their pants
they
tucked
all
into
did
their
that.
socks.
We said,
was all there.
we said, and I still say things like tubular and dude and rad. I say rad way too much, and these are all things I got from movies like this. And as my first movie for the podcast, I had no idea what the shit we were doing, so I just threw out a movie that I thought was obscure and you guys would enjoy, maybe.
no.
So,
I would say I enjoyed it.
I had fun.
I just wouldn't
watching.
I wouldn't tell anyone else to watch it.
yeah, I would definitely tell people to watch it just because it's different,
Yeah.
Okay. So what we do now is we're going to hand out next week's assignments. We're going to challenge each other once again for the films that we're going to require each other to watch. And then we're going to review actually a newer movie that we feel you may have missed. And then we'll wrap up the show. So my film that I want both of you to watch for the next time we get together is a little film called Moon, starring Sam Rockwell.
Nice.
It was directed by David Bowie's son, and it kind of just slid under the radar. It
I
also
killed him, Jim.
Did you,
David Bowie?
You did kill.
I killed
David,
him.
You even
You
said,
killed
yeah.
David
He even,
Bowie?
yeah. The day that he
did.
died,
Damn
he
it.
even said, what was the? Well, you said.
I actually tweeted, I'm glad to see David Bowie is still weird because I bought his new album Black Star that came out that day.
Yeah.
Such a great
And
album.
then the next day we
He was
found
dead.
out he's dead. And my girlfriend started telling me that I killed him.
Yeah.
Well, I actually texted Jim first.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that he's still weird with a picture of the album. And
Yeah.
So
It's a good album.
I killed him, and I feel bad.
So yep.
feel
So
bad.
Moon, I want you guys to watch Moon. A very very underrated actor that's not been in the press at all is also his voice is in it. Kevin Spacey. No controversy there.
So I heard him in that Taron Egerton's movie made like $600 over the opening weekend.
Nice.
$600.
Ah, well, that's you know.
A Taron Egerton movie though.
Yeah, but I'll take $600. Anyways,
Yeah, I mean-
Ted, what film you got?
I have got a little movie called Birdie, 1984.
Birdie.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you who it stars
That's fun.
because I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised.
All right, and BJ?
My movie is going to be Dreamscape.
Nice.
Dreamscape. That's
Yeah.
one of the Quaid brothers.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
Dennis Quaid movie.
I have seen it, but it's been so long that it will be fresh.
All that,
Yeah.
all the years of doing Mormon crack. I don't
It's hard to
remember.
find. I have a Blu-ray of it. We could swap around we could pass around my disc if we need to.
Excellent. So now it's time that we're going to do our new movie review. Both,
And I have to recuse myself.
You did not see this one, and that's all right. But BJ and myself both saw it. It is called Upgrade. Upgrade is a new film starring Logan Marshall Green. If you don't know who he is, he's going to be Venom in the. No, wait, that's Tom Hardy. They just look exactly the damn same. They look-
Brother Pete is
they-
a Tom Hardy fan.
They look the same. No, he's actually Shocker in the new Spider-Man: Homecoming. He was in Prometheus. That's a film I really like. Some people didn't. I like Prometheus. He's the one that ended up turning the black lines all through him, and yeah, it was cool. It's also directed by Lee. I want to say this right. He's Australian, so he'll be upset if I miss it. Wanel. He wrote Saw 1, 2, and 3. So there's two people in Saw. There is the Princess Bride, and then there is the other guy. That's
Carrie Elwes.
the Princess Bride, and then the other guy that's in the room. That's the guy that wrote Saw.
Oh.
Yeah, most people don't know that. He wrote Saw. He also wrote Saw 2, Saw 3. He wrote all 3 Insidious films.
Oh, those movies scare me.
He directed Insidious 3. That was his directorial debut. This is his second film. He also wrote a film that I shouldn't even drop it because I want to use it as one of my films that you missed called The Mule. Basically, a guy, he gets caught smuggling drugs. He gets basically talked into smuggling drugs. It's nothing. It's easy money. And he gets caught. The whole movie is he can't take a shit because if he does... they're gonna find the drugs, and so they're holding him, and he doesn't take a shit for like 10 days, and that's the movie.
Oh man,
It's great. I love it.
I did that once, but it was caused by heroin. Not.
Anyways, Upgrade. It was a great film. I was very very impressed with it. It got a IMDb score of 7.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 85% and an audience award of 87%. It's about to come out on digital and DVD and everything.
I am on it.
And it is you should
Yeah,
totally
I watched the trailer earlier today.
Oh,
It looks intriguing. Yeah.
Basically, a guy becomes paraplegic in an accident, and they have this new technology called STEM, where it can tell your brain to talk to the rest of your body, and so it can bypass that breakage, so he could use his body again.
Yeah.
Well, the computer chip starts talking to him, and he ends up being a ninja.
Nice.
Oh man, you thought I was a paraplegic.
Yeah.
But I'm a fucking ninja.
And so he goes after because his wife dies. Not from the accident, but what happens during. I don't want to give it away. Obviously, we don't want to give away too much, but because of what happens with the accident, she dies. He becomes paraplegic. The only thing I really want to point out, because then I'll let BJ talk about his review of it, because I absolutely love this film. I'll watch it again, and I'll tell everyone to watch this film. Did you notice when he was being a ninja, he would move his head with his hands? Did you notice it? And why do you think that was? Like
To make him look away because he didn't want to see it all.
because the stem only controls. He's
Down.
paraplegic down, and so the only way he can get his head away from someone trying to like throw a knife at him or punch him, he'd have to physically move it with the rest of him because he wasn't doing a lot.
Bullets.
He dodges bullets. He beats the crap out of people, and it's this computer system, but he has to give it permission. Like it's like, I can help you in this situation, but you need to tell me that it's okay. And so he's basically teaching this computer to be a ninja to kill people. And it's great. Beach, what'd you think?
Yeah, I really like this movie a lot. I always have a bad attitude going into movies for some reason. I just expect to hate them because you see so many movies, and this seemed like a movie you were had already seen, but it really wasn't. It was a dark take on the revenge story, the make a guy work again.
Right.
And we've seen movies like this, like RoboCop. You know, he's given a something that's going to run his body an upgrade, and then. You know, but they want to control it. They want it back. They don't want anybody else to have it. It's got a really cool twist. I'm not going to give anything away, but like there's just cool stuff to look forward to. He's a really good actor. Like he could like rub my shoulders and
Venom.
stuff if he wanted.
Right? Like if you were in the movie theater and he put his hand on your thigh.
He's in with Shia LaBeouf where he makes the moonshine and stuff. Oh man, so good.
He just let you sit it there.
Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't take his hand off my thigh. Absolutely not.
Our hands meet in the popcorn bucket or something.
Just look at him for a minute.
Just
look at him for a minute.
Hey man,
it's cool.
No, you have that. No, you have that handful.
No, highly suggest. Out of the 4 films I saw, this was my favorite. I even liked it more than my.
I feel like there's gonna be a part 2.
Yeah, it has to be.
So,
and the guy's a really good writer. Like, I mean, even if you say what you want about the Saw series, that first Saw was awesome. There's a reason why there's 9 of them.
Yeah,
because and he was the reason behind it. If you haven't seen the Insidious films, he's really good. And please seek out The Mule because it's so different. Like, who would have thought that I would have just loved watching a 90-minute movie about a dude who can't poo?
I think it. Yeah,
I love this Lee Wannell. I'm a fan. Whatever he does, I'm gonna watch it. Next film that we're gonna the next new film that we're gonna watch is a film that was made right here in Salt Lake City that is about to come out on DVD and digital as well, called
Heredity.
We're gonna give that one a watch, and we'll review that for the next time. So at this point, we're going to give you an email address because we want you guys as the audience, we want you to go and listen to these films. We want you to watch Moon. We want you to watch Birdie. We want you to watch Dreamscape. So as we review them, you can kind of follow along with yourself and go, you know, BJ's an idiot. Ted, that's spot on. Jim, you watch shitty movies. Like whatever, you know, and you can kind of follow along. And also go out and watch Inheritance so you can follow along. But we also want you to challenge us for movies that you like, that you think that we may have missed. And we'll take from those emails, we will put together the 3 that we have between the 3 of us, one that we haven't seen, and then we'll watch that one, and we'll include that in the review for the next one. So that email address, Ted, is.
Yes, email us at givepieceachanz@gmail.com. Give piece, Piece, like piece of pie, and chance, CHANZ. Give peace a chance. Give it a chance, CHANZ. Give peace, like piece of pie. Give peace a chance, CHANZ.
Anyways, that's our first episode. I think it went fairly well, other than the fact that, you know, you guys didn't enjoy my film as much as I did.
Well, you obviously have shit taste in movies too.
Well, that's fine, and not everyone, you know, and I've been told that quite a bit, that, you know, I watch, you know, strange films, and you're going to have to watch all of them because I'm going to watch your shitty films, so it's only fair.
I look forward to it.
Excellent.
So that's
Gleaming the Cube.
Well, give me some of those lines again. What was some brilliant wordage from Gleaming the Cube.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Going higher and faster than anyone's ever been before.
Give Peace a Chance podcast.
Gleaming the Cube.
All right, Kacho, please sit down.
I think the end of the world just came for that bag of Fritos I had in my pocket.